Yo, how's it going? YouTube back in the video, and today I'm going to be talking about what is wrong with James Harden. Now, before I get into this video, I do want to say I'm part of the people that think James Harden is going to be fine, and I'm not even a James Harden's fan. It's just, obviously he's off to a rough start this season, but I think his entire career of him playing at an MVP level and being one of the best shooting guards in the entire game for the past about 4 or 5 years now, I would take that over the first 5 games of the NBA season that he got a little kind of off to a rough start. But I am going to get into a few reasons why I think could be a result to this rough start, because this is the worst start we have seen from James Harden in years. And I do think there are some very legit reasons for that slow start that he is currently having. So I'm going to get into a few of those reasons in this video. So if you like the video, hit the like button and subscribe button. I want to hear our thoughts in the comment section below. But with all that out of the way, let's get right into this video. So like I kind of dabbled on a little bit in the intro, I am not of the people who are saying James Harden is washed right now. I don't think James Harden is a bad player right now. I don't think he's going to be bad. I think he's going to bounce back, and I think he's going to become the old James Harden that everyone once used to know. Now, yes, he might be getting a lot less free throws due to how it's being officiating, and I am going to get into that a little bit in this video, but I just wanted to get out of the way. I am not of the people who thinks James Harden is a bad player or is a washed up player or anything like that. I think James Harden is going to be fine. I think he's going to probably be averaging around 25 points per game around the All-Star break by the time it gets there, and I think he will be fine. But like I said earlier, this is one of the slowest starts we've ever seen from James Harden since he has actually became a superstar, probably since he has went to Houston. This is by far the slowest start we've seen for him in a very, very long time. But I think a huge reason for that is going to be due to the lack of an offseason or lack of preparation he was actually able to have going into this season. Now, what I mean by this is that, let's be honest, he got hurt with an injury in the playoffs last year, and I think it was a hamstring injury. He couldn't play in the Olympics, and he spent pretty much the entire offseason recovering and trying to get back to being healthy enough to be able to start the NBA season and not have to miss any games, opposed to what he would usually be doing, which is staying in basketball shape, staying ready, keeping his shot warm, doing all that, keeping up with his mechanics, and just not be able to get rusty because he'd be working out all offseason. But instead of being able to work out and prepare basketball-wise in the offseason, he had to get his body right, he had to get his leg right, and he really wasn't able to focus on basketball that much. He had to focus on the recovery and being ready for the start of the NBA season. And if you really look at what he is doing right now, you can definitely see that, because he is looking like a player who didn't play much basketball during the offseason, as he is still able to be the same guy pretty much in every way except scoring. He is still averaging around the same amount of rebounds as he did last year, and he's averaging 8 assists per game. So everywhere else in his game besides scoring is still up to par what we used to know from James Harden. But at the scoring wise, which he is the best at and what he is known for, his shooting percentages are down and his points per game are also down. And I think a huge reason for this is going to be, one, because I think James Harden knows, since he didn't play a lot in the offseason, he doesn't want to go out there and chunk up a whole bunch of shots that he knows he isn't ready to make because he did not practice as much as he could have or in a normal season would have, and he needs to get to that point to where he can start shooting a lot of those shots, and he actually said that in an interview. So I think for sure once he gets around mid-season form, he will be shooting a lot more shots, and hopefully that efficiency will also go up as the more shots are taken, because he's probably using these first few games as pretty much his off-season getting ready for the season. So I think for sure that's why he's not taking a lot of shots, because he's letting Kevin Durant carry the team right now, and he's really just trying to get back in shape, try to get back in the groove of things, and I think he has done a pretty decent job of that, because although he's still not shooting as efficiently as he usually does, it's still not bad, and he knows that his shooting efficiency is down, and he is taking a conscious decision to take less shots, which is very, very impressive coming from a scorer like James Harden. But overall, I do think this lack of an offseason to prepare basketball-wise for Harden has gone a long, long way for his very, very slow start. So I don't think it's as much as him being washed as of not being able to prepare like he usually would have been. And his confidence is probably a little bit lower than it would have been if he would have had a whole offseason. And like I said, he just knows consciously, and it's a very mature thing to do, to let Kevin Durant carry the offense while he's still trying to get his rhythm back. That is a very, very mature thing to do. And coming from Harden, who seemed to have some ego problems in the past, past, to put that aside and probably for the betterment of the team, and him taking less shots is very, very impressive to see from a guy like Harden. And now my second reason for his video is going to be he's still trying to figure out how to play without Kyrie Irving. Now what I mean by this is that he went into this season fully expecting Kyrie Irving to be the point guard duo alongside with him this season, and now without Kyrie Irving, James Harden has to take on a lot more playmaking ability, a lot more of that ball handling responsibility as well, and he just has way more responsibility than he was going to have if he had Kyrie Irving on the team. Because if Kyrie Irving's on the team, James Harden can 100% focus on scoring and a little bit of playmaking. But now with Kyrie Irving off the floor, you now have to worry about playmaking, getting everyone involved, making your own shot, making sure you can still keep the offense running and flowing, and that is his job, and that is way more responsibility than James Harden was probably expecting to have going into this season. So now Kevin Durant and James Harden, both knowing they have to step up their offensive game with Kyrie Irving out, they know they need to step up their games offensively and just all around, and it's going to be very hard for those two players to find that equilibrium and really learn how to play with each other. And it might not be till the playoffs till they fully learn how to play with each other, and that's just going to come over time with chemistry, and I do think they're going to be able to get there, but I think it is going to be a little rough here going forward because James Harden probably doesn't want to take a whole bunch of shots and take away from Kevin Durant, and vice versa. Kevin Durant doesn't want to take too many shots away from James Harden. So until they really find that point to where they're both being able to play their game very smoothly with each other on the floor, at least offensively, their offense together and their numbers might look a little rough night to night. So I do think until they get there, and hopefully Steve Nash is able to help them with that as well, until they get there, I think James Harden is going to struggle a lot without Kyrie Irving on the floor, because when you practice an entire way for one entire season, and then for an entire off season you think Kyrie Irving is going to be your point guard, and then really right at the end of training camp you find out he's not getting the vaccine, he's not going to be allowed to play, he's not going to play any games with you, that is a huge blow for any team's chemistry, and is a huge game plan changer for players, especially the superstars on team like James Harden. Now my last reason for his video is going to be the officiating is a lot different. James Harden is one of those people who heavily relied on his free throws per game to really score a lot of his points. He was one of the best players in the league at drawing whistles last season, and really for the past few years he pretty much is the guy that created that. If you really go back and look at it, James Harden is the guy that started catching people's arms and really getting those extra free throws for kind of cheap fouls. And although it is not, in my opinion, a respectful way to play, it was still a very effective way to score the ball. But now with officiating changing in a huge way, it has affected James Harden's game. He hasn't been getting the fouls he usually would have got, and I do think he's going to adjust to that. It is just going to take a little while for him to adjust, because when you've been playing a certain type of way for your entire career for the past 5 years, and then out of nowhere it just changes, it is going to take a little bit for James Harden to get back to where he used to be before all the free throws came. But to say James Harden isn't scoring because of only free throws is kind of dumb, because James Harden is one of the best scorers in the league even without free throws. So although right now I think the officiating could be affecting James Harden a lot, I think in probably about a month Harden should be adjusted and should be looking more like his old self. So I think give him a month or two, a month and a half, and he should start looking like the old James Harden we have known for the past couple of years. But unfortunately, guys, that's my first video. So comment below, do you agree with me? Do you think James Harden is going to still be good? Do you think he's going to bounce back? Do you think he's going to be washed? On your thoughts in the comment section below. And like I said earlier, if you did like the video at any point, hit the like button and subscribe button. That would mean the absolute world to me. All glory to God. Hope you have a blessed day. Have a blessed day. So you need to have a blessed day. All glory to God. See you in the next video. Goodbye. Boo. Blah.